welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I am your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am joined by my two joyous co-hosts.
Elated
to my right,
co-host.
It is the one and only Uncle Sam.
Hello.
And behind the computer, absolutely whacking his own mole as always, it is Bruce, the Tugboat Venditti.
What's going on? I'm not in that good of a mood. I was in a good mood, but the news today really disappointed me.
Elated was more for him. I know you feel
I'm so fucking happy.
You feel my disappointment here. After 7 Super Bowl rings, 23 seasons, 22 seasons, whatever it is, at the ripe age of 40. The ripe age. Are we fucking serious? He's got to scroll through fucking TikTok.
He doesn't want to hear
it. At the ripe age of 45.
It was Tom Brady's fucking goodbye speech.
The greatest.
And I was so excited.
The undisputed greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. Just 1 year ago.
No, the most winningest quarterback
20
of all
seasons.
time.
1 year ago, from his last retirement announcement, announced this morning that he is retiring
23.
from the sport of football for good.
I just hope he's gone. Don't try to make some half-hearted, stupid attempt to come back.
Oh, he said that.
That's fucking
He
stupid.
said he's
think
not doing that whole spiel.
This
He's not doing that.
this was really it.
Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is for him.
I already spilled my guts out on this topic. If you go back to 1 year ago from today,
Probably right
one of
on
our
the dot,
first episodes.
What was it? Did he retire?
1 year ago today.
1 year ago
1
today.
year ago today?
Yep.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
obviously,
Ironic, isn't it?
Everybody knows how much he changed the game, and for that we'd like to thank
He
Tom.
changed the game. What does that mean?
I mean,
Change the game how?
he blasted every record there was. He owns everything. I actually saw a couple things that I wanted to touch on regarding this real quick. Ian Rappaport came out and said that the whole time there was really only 2 options here. It was Tampa or retire. Obviously, retirement was the option he chose, but all the smoke screens of Vegas, San Francisco, all that was bullshit. And the second thing, if you take the statistics from Brady's last 4 years and put them up against Patrick Mahomes' statistics from the last 4 years, the writing is on the wall for the greatest of all time. In his 40s, he
Not
did
the greatest of all time.
He did what Mahomes did, and everybody gives him MVPs and praises him. But today's not a day to argue about Tom Brady because not only
let's rejoice in his leaving.
Not only is the coaching carousel spinning out of control, but we also have 2 games, extremely controversial games from last week to recap, and we need to start talking about the Super Bowl because that's what's on the docket. Obviously, the Pro Bowl this weekend. Moving on.
Hold on.
Well, we will see. We'll see
There
if
it
the
is.
Manning brothers can make the Pro Bowl great again this weekend.
They'll make it definitely. They'll definitely.
You know what?
enlighten it.
The only way they're going to make it great again is if they're playing. Tyler Huntley is a quarterback in one of these games. How the fuck is he a quarterback for a Pro Bowl team? The guy only fucking threw 2 touchdowns.
Started
Isn't
4
it just
games.
a step
Started
in?
4 games. What is
Yeah,
it?
because
Jared Goff's a step in too, right?
well,
Well, you know what?
Josh Allen.
Regardless,
Josh Allen's golfing
whatever.
instead of going to the Pro Bowl.
I thought he was telling everybody he hurt his elbow.
Yeah, but he has.
Yeah, he's out there on the golf course.
Yeah.
Reminds me of somebody else
Because
I
he
know.
thinks it's a big joke.
So yeah, we will.
So let's make it great again.
We will see this weekend if the Pro Bowl could be made.
Stop calling it a Pro Bowl. Why don't we
The
just call
Pro
it
Bowl
something
games.
else?
I don't know. Whatever.
Why don't we
you
just
wanna
call it the Popularity Bowl?
Whatever you want to call it. We'll see if it's great again.
What's that little fucking thing they have out in L.A.? Coachella? Just call it Football Chella. And then just leave it at that. And all the popular people like Patty Mahomes and his brother. What's his brother's name?
Jackson.
That little idiot.
Jackson Mahomes.
Fucking
Where's
jackass
our fucking
Mahomes.
thing? Where's our
Jackass
Oh, there.
Mahomes. They can all go hang out and
there
play
it is.
with all the fucking wannabe fucking people that live in L.A.
Can I ask you a question though?
Yes.
If it was a popularity contest, how did Huntley get in?
Exactly. That's what I'd like to know.
Snoop Huntley. Okay.
Anyway, because he changed his name to Snoop. They're going to go smoke some ganj with the other Snoop.
Anyways,
and then they're going to play some football.
Are you rooting for Team Peyton or Team Eli?
It doesn't matter to me. I like the Manning brothers. It doesn't matter.
Which one are you rooting for?
What do you mean? Which one?
Isn't Eli's doing?
Eli's doing AFC.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Well, I mean,
no, Eli's doing NFC.
Yeah, I was
Peyton's
gonna say
doing AFC.
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But who knows? I don't care. Hopefully, it's just entertaining because those guys are pretty funny.
I like Peyton more, but
that's what it's about.
Eli,
Listen, the Pro Bowl's turned into the Entertainment Bowl. That's what they should call it, the Entertainment Bowl, because that's all it is for entertainment. It's a skills competition.
But watching football is just entertainment.
Sorry?
Watching football is just
Anyway, I'm not going to argue with you about this. You're a fucking dipshit.
All right. So let's get into championship weekend. The Chiefs.
We're not going to talk about Sean Payton.
Oh, you're right. Coaching carousel. I missed that one. Sean Payton, the infamous coach of the New Orleans Saints for over a decade, is now the head coach of the Denver Broncos. The announcement broke yesterday. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of have mixed reviews about this. If we remember last year, Denver gave up an absolute king's ransom.
They cannot be any worse than what they were last year.
Well, okay. I agree with that, and I'm not
deny that.
I'm not talking about that directly. I think obviously they'll be better with Sean Payton at the helm with the team they have. What I'm more concerned about is going forward, because they gave up a king's ransom, 5 draft picks to acquire Russell Wilson. And then they had to give the Saints their 2023 first round.
2024 second round.
They gave up a 2023 first and second and a 2024 third.
No, they got a third back, and they gave up a 2024 second. They get a third back.
You're right. So, okay, Denver gave up a first and second.
Right.
And then got Sean Payton and a third. To me, I'm not going to – this is the thing. We've seen what these younger coaches can do, and I get it. Sean Payton was a very good coach. I don't know if I would go out on a limb and say – he was something great. Granted, he did have one of the winningest quarterbacks of all time.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to try to be an asshole here, but
you say that a lot.
Whole thing with what do you mean?
That's just a joke.
Drew Brees is a system guy, and I truly believe that Sean Payton's system was tailor-made for him.
This is the thing. Why not go out and get? I mean, we've seen time and time again. You're going to go if you bring in a young head coach.
Well, you've seen what the young head coaches have turned into.
Well, you got a 50-50 shot at it. You got a 50-50 shot if you bring in a first-time head coach of being a home run or it striking out. And they already struck out once. So,
well, the Hackett hire was stupid to begin with.
The Hackett hire was stupid.
That made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
That was just dangling the lure for Aaron Rodgers.
Correct.
We know
and that backfired on him. And you know what? Hey, they went for it. One thing about the Denver Broncos, they go for it.
They'll send it.
They want a guy. They wanted Peyton Manning. They got him.
Yep.
They wanted Russell Wilson. They got him.
They want fucking Sean Payton.
Broncos.
But they got him.
Peyton Manning actually went into some structure. They had structure there when Manning was
correct. Right.
Where this guy here was here this year was a fucking turd show. I mean, he was fucking Turd Ferguson. He was fucking horrible.
It was awful.
He was fucking horrible. He's an offensive coordinator. And that's what he's doing. That's why he's at the Jets now. And now they're dangling the carrot to Aaron Rodgers to go to the Jets.
All right.
Do you think he could turn it around?
Here's the long and short of it. That's my next question.
Eventually.
Denver was a 5-12 team last year.
They will not be that this year.
Okay, what's your expectations for them now? With
my expectations is a fucking playoff spot.
You're right.
With Sean Payton walking in there year one. They have a lot of talent on that team. They have a top 10 defense, arguably maybe top 5. They should be there.
I still think that. Do you think Russell Wilson plays like Drew Brees in that system?
I just think, you know what? I think that he's going to let Russell Wilson be Russell Wilson. And I think that's the key.
I still think they need a running back.
I think Denver's a
Well,
7.
they have a running back. He was fucking injured. They have a lot of guys coming off of injury.
That is true.
A lot.
That is true.
They have a shit ton of injuries on their offense.
I'm not going to get as high on them as I did going into this year. Especially,
You know what? I'm expecting them at least. It's got to be at least 500 or better.
Yeah, that's what I was.
If it's not 500, he could be on the hot seat year one.
It's not going to.
But I don't see them moving away from him. They're going to be very vested in him, and they're paying what's his name, Hackett is still getting fucking paid for
leave. Yeah,
for another 2 years.
I think they're a 7 or 8 win team this year, just because.
I would put them at 500.
The way I'm looking at this at the AFC now,
yeah,
I mean, you have.
Well, here it is. You can go 9-8 and not make the fucking playoffs.
Oh yeah, and that's what's going to happen. I mean,
I could see him go 9-8 and miss the playoffs.
You have to look at this going forward. I mean, do I think Buffalo's going to be as much of a powerhouse next year as they were this year? No, but do I?
I said it now. No, the Buffalo Bills. You can kind of.
It would be shocking to me.
Buy the grave blanket and throw it on their fucking.
It would be shocking to me still if 2 teams from that division did not make the playoffs. Okay, Kansas City, is going to be back there. Cincinnati, is going to be back there. We can't forget about Pittsburgh. I don't see the Chargers having a massive fall off. Like, I don't know where Denver really fits into this, especially
you know what?
in that division.
I'll say this about the Chargers. They got a new offensive coordinator there that they just fucking signed the day after he got let go.
Yep.
Kellen Moore.
They wanted him. That was
and they wanted Kellen Moore bad because he's been really good with quarterbacks.
Yep.
And now he has an actual real quarterback to work with.
Not Dak.
And not some fucking fraud. So
yes, Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, has left the team and joined the.
Well, they told him to get out. They basically told him to get out.
Well, they said that the decision is mutually agreed upon.
No, they told him to get the fuck out. Listen, the guy who should have been fucking gone, not the 5 coordinators that lost their jobs. It's Mike fucking McCarthy. Should have been the first one out the door.
Behind doors.
We also have another head coach
jerking off Jerry Jones. It's the only reason why he still has a fucking job. Anyway.
Jerking off.
It's like, look at my fat titties, Jerry. Just fucking put them on there.
Wow. Look at my
That's
fat
a clip.
titties, Jerry.
That's a clip.
Woo, we're on one today. Think Jimmy Johnson and his enormous cack got in on that at all?
Don't ever talk about Jimmy Johnson. He's the greatest coach ever, Jimmy Johnson.
The Houston Texans hired a guy that I know you are.
You going to fuck up his name again this week? Go ahead.
What did I do last week?
No, go ahead.
No, tell me
You technically have no room to talk.
Yeah, Herbert. Don't pronounce H's. D'Amico Ryans. Is that good for you?
Yes.
Okay. Former defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers has been hired by the Houston Texans to be their new head coach. He said that it is his dream job, and him and his family are thrilled to be in.
He was drafted by them, played for him for a considerable long time, and I think it's a great fit for them.
I do too.
I really do. They needed a guy who knows the culture of that team and has been there and been through the fucking struggles that they have.
Agreed.
And I think it's a perfect fit for him. Now, here's the thing. He signed a 6-year deal. They at least need to give this guy a fucking chance.
They need to give
this one and done shit. What they did with Lovie Smith, with what they've done to other guys, it needs to fucking stop.
I think they got a guy that they actually will be able to give time now. Lovie Smith, here's the thing. I feel like with a lot of these older head coaches, and this goes back to the Sean, like with Lovie Smith, you know what you're getting, right?
Lovie Smith is a good football coach.
Come on, dude.
He's a good football.
Come on.
Listen, he won 10 games with the Chicago Bears and got fired. How many fucking coaches do you know that win 10 games and get fired? How many? How many have you ever heard of that? You know what it is? You want to know what it is? Because he black.
Oh, jeez.
Because he black. They don't like him. I like Lovie Smith. Me and him got the same beard.
They fired Lovie Smith and hired D'Amico Ryans.
I'm sorry?
They hired another African-American gentleman.
I get that, but I'm just telling you why the Chicago Bears are racist.
That was back when you still had color in your beard. We're going to sit here and talk about that.
I like Lovie Smith. He got a great beard.
I like
from one guy to another.
Great beard.
I like
the
hire.
Fucking great
Quote
beard
of the day.
Have you seen his beard? Got a great beard. Pull up his fucking name because you don't even know who I'm talking about, Bruce. You high motherfucker. Pull up his picture.
First of all, I was the one who posted it on our Instagram story.
What?
So that he got hired.
Who?
He's talking about Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith, asshole.
Lovie Smith.
Anyways, I like the hire.
What the fuck? What planet are you on?
You talk too much. You lose me.
I like the hire for Houston. I think that the 6-year contract means a couple things for me. That even if they go out and win 3 games this year, which they could very well do, they're going to give him time to establish a culture there. Also, I think Houston needs a defensive-minded coach because guess what? Your offense ain't worth a fuck. You don't have any receivers that are worth a damn. Dameon Pierce played great for 6 games this year and then fell off the face of the planet.
He got hurt.
You don't have a fucking quarterback outside of Uncle Sam's favorite, Davis Mills. So I think if
I like
he tears
Davis
this
Mills.
thing down and he builds it up, starting with a great defense, Houston could.
Well, I think they're going to start with a quarterback, and they have their opportunity at picking number 2 to get one.
Yeah. So that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see who they take. That's the thing.
And I got to pick a new team now because I don't have any skin in the game anymore. So Houston, Jacksonville, I might be just a big AFC South lifer now, but we'll see. Let's move on to championship weekend. I want to start off talking
About the 4 o'clock game first.
I want to start off talking about Philadelphia and San Francisco because, bless you,
Excuse me.
there's not too many things to talk about in this game other than one gigantic elephant in the room, which, for me, before Brock Purdy went out in this game, it was a 7-7 football game. And at one point, it realistically should have been a 7-0 football game because even the NFL came out later on and said Devonta Smith's touchdown catch wasn't a fucking catch. So there's that.
It wasn't a touchdown catch. It was a first down catch. They wound up scoring afterwards.
Correct. I think it was the next play they scored.
Well, they were trying to say that it wasn't a catch. And guess what?
Mike Pereira
They
came out
fucked up.
one
They
hand on
fucked
the
up
sideline?
as usual. Kudos to Jalen Hurts to have enough fucking common sense to get up and run the play. How many times have we seen it done? You see it done at least in just about every game that is being played. That kind of shit happens.
I watched Devonta Smith sprint to the middle of the field and
Yeah,
set that
I would've
ball
done the
down.
same goddamn
And they
thing.
were like,
Oh my
let's
God.
fucking go.
That's what good quarterbacks do.
So
Good teammates do. Yeah, they recognize
Good
what's going
teams
on.
do that
Yeah,
shit.
Good teams do that.
I remember Tom Brady used to do that shit all the time.
Aaron
So
Rodgers has done that shit on
replay
us
it.
multiple times.
He'd be. Nobody was quicker at getting his team to line of scrimmage and run the next play.
so
We've seen that in the Super Bowl.
this game really started to get away from
Clock man.
San Francisco after Brock Purdy got injured. He tore his ulnar collateral ligament, which will now sideline him at least 6 months.
Not losing anything.
Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo unavailable in this game, and Josh Johnson, the 4th-string quarterback, came in, was through, I think, 3 passes.
I don't think he looked that bad. He looked pretty comfortable there till Dominican Zoo.
Smashed his
pile
head to the ground,
drive.
and that was it for him.
And after he pile drived him, that was it.
That was it. So then Brock Purdy had to come back into the game and
basically hand off the ball.
hand off the balls
And throw little screen passes because he didn't have any kind of arm
feel
to
the
throw the
foot.
ball.
Who was it
Yeah.
that flipped?
You know what?
Who was it that started that fight?
It utterly shocks me out of a whole team of fucking guys that you don't have anybody that can throw a football.
Well, they had Christian McCaffrey in there for a couple.
Yeah, and I
plays.
seen him throw a football. He looked fucking retarded. Excuse my French. I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone, a la that. But I'm telling you, it was utterly pathetic that nobody on that team can throw a fucking football.
Well, we talked a lot about how Kyle Shanahan was going to have a fuck up that cost them this game.
That's his fuck up.
Let's
right
stop
there.
and think about this. The fact that you are rolling the dice, okay? You lost your first 2 QBs. You get the immaculate Mr. fucking irrelevant who comes in there and actually plays decent. and you don't think to say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should
get
bring
another
in
quarterback on this
a
roster.
halfway decent
I'm
veteran
sorry,
QB.
maybe I should take my quarterbacks coach, Brian Greasy, and put a fucking uniform on him.
I mean,
what the fuck, dude?
There's options out there that they could have
Come on, dude. You know what? That's utterly pathetic, dude.
I mean,
that is utterly pathetic. And let me tell you something. This guy continues to make stupid fucking decisions, and it cost his fucking team games.
Oh, it did.
I'm not trying to be an asshole here. Listen, did Brock Purdy try to gut it out? Yeah.
Not really.
If anything, was he really helping his team? I'd have ran the fucking Wildcat. I'd have ran the Wildcat the whole fucking game, dude. Yeah. And they would probably have had a better chance to win by running the fucking Wildcat.
What killed them is the fact that, and I honest to God, and I know this is gonna make you raise eyebrows, but like, why not? Cam Newton put out a tweet after this game that supposedly after all their quarterback injuries, he had his agent reach out to the team to see if they'd be interested in a workout. If you could bring a dude like Cam Newton in for the veterans minimum to sit on the fucking bench, I mean, it'd be better than what they had.
No, I get that. Hey, listen, Cam Newton's just looking to get a fucking ring, okay? I mean, that's what it is, bottom line. Is he even a viable fucking thing at this point?
No.
No. But could he have got in there and threw a couple passes and had him picked off? Yeah, sure. Sure.
At least they would have had it.
Ran the ball a couple of times like Josh Allen and run into somebody and fucking forget where he's at. Sure, that could happen.
At least he would have had an option.
You know what? The bottom line is this. Philadelphia, they stayed within their game.
Yep.
They played a fucking good game. They didn't get cute.
They ran the piss out of the football.
They 3-4 yards a pop. They controlled the clock. They did what they had to do to fucking win.
Yep.
They knew they had a wounded animal. They didn't want to fucking poke it. They did the right fucking job. They did the right job. And you know what? I'm going to say this. I don't think it would have mattered if Purdy would have been in there for the rest of the game.
I think it would have been a little bit more.
It would have been more competitive, obviously. But you know what? I think Philly's defense proved that they're pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah,
they're pretty fucking good.
1,000%. You can't knock it now.
You know, Hassan Riddick was a fucking beast. They couldn't block him.
Hassan Riddick reminded me of prime Von Miller.
That's what it reminded me. Because he was unblockable.
He was unblockable.
He was in on every fucking
play, and he knew he executed perfectly to make sure he wasn't just a disruptor. He was a game changer.
Correct. And Ndamukong Suh, man, what the fuck?
Suh
what crawled into him to make him fucking want to be?
He slept until he gets into an important game.
This guy, he goes to Tampa and gets a fucking Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
And now he pops over to Philadelphia. What, midway through the fucking year?
If that.
Midway through the year, he signs with the Eagles.
He's doing his thing, man.
This cat's just grabbing rings. He reminded me of Deion Sanders at the end of his career. Signing with the Cowboys. Signing with
was trying to do.
49ers to get a couple fucking rings, dude.
He's trying to do now.
So
it's the same thing Von Miller's trying to do.
Outside of...
They get that old, man.
Listen to me. Von Miller earned that first ring.
Yes, he did.
Cam Newton. Remember that, Cam? Remember that?
There wasn't too many stats that jumped off the sheet at you from this game.
No,
realistically, it was. Just...
I will say this though. I think you were wrong on a couple of aspects.
Go ahead.
You said Kenneth Gainwell wasn't worth a shit. I think Kenneth Gainwell proved it. He's not that bad against the number one fucking defense.
Kenneth Gainwell, 14 rushes for 48 yards. It's 3.5 yards per carry with no touchdowns.
It doesn't matter. He was there, giving them enough boost to make big plays, and that's what he was doing. He was getting key first downs.
See, you were doing really, really well.
Yeah.
And then you just had, to go in
because
for the one extra deep
you said
shot.
That Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott weren't worth a shit. Boston Scott, what do you have? One touchdown or two?
One.
One? Hey, there you go. There you go. You look good.
Hey, you know what then? Next year for fantasy, you'd probably be better off if you did this than whatever you draft.
Okay.
But take Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott and start them every week.
We'll see.
They're so
about that.
fabulous. All right, let's move on. So Philadelphia will be representing the
Fly
NFC
Eagles fly
in the Super Bowl. As much as that makes me want to throw up.
Fly Eagles fly.
Okay,
you were wrong. I was right. You took fucking San Francisco. I took the Eagles, and the Eagles fly. Whether you like them or not, it doesn't fucking matter. They're the best team in football right now.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Yep.
Next up,
And I called it from day one.
All right.
Hello.
I'm gonna preface this
Okay.
by saying Kansas City deserved to win this game because they played a better game than Cincinnati.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take
They
that.
did. Outside
that.
of a few things. One, Kansas City cannot run the football, and that will be their demise against Philadelphia, and that is why in about 10 minutes I'm going to take Philadelphia to win the Super Bowl. But they cannot run the football. Their running game, and I get it. All I did last week was talk about how great Cincinnati's defensive front was, and that would be the difference in this game. They cannot run the football at all. Mahomes with that bum ankle is not nearly as mobile as he usually is. And it's going to affect him going into the Super Bowl.
But talk about gutting it out.
Stop. I don't want to hear. Now, that shit I don't want to
That
hear.
was bothering him all game, dude.
Okay? That's great.
What's that?
That ankle was bothering him
Bullshit,
all fucking
dude.
game.
For the first 3 quarters, he was fucking walking around just fine. Then all of a sudden, he got a little chased out of bounds,
walk on
and he come up a little hobble.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck
walk
that.
on it.
Yeah, you know
Now-
what?
Yeah, dude.
What was the key of this game? Why did the fucking Kansas City Chiefs win that game?
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. And I called
whole
it. I
entire
called it from the
defense,
fucking
not
beginning.
just Chris
I
Jones,
told you
but Chris
he was
Jones as well.
unfucking blockable. Unblockable.
That's number one. Okay? That's the number one reason why they won this game.
Joe Burrow comes in there. He's got 3 fucking reserve fucking offensive linemen in there, and they could not control that fucking
Not
guy.
only,
Couldn't control Mike Danna either.
Oh, God.
Are you kidding me?
Really going
He was
there?
causing shit up in the middle
really
of the,
going there
of the
right now,
shit
dude?
in the
Listen,
trenches,
he's
causing
gotta do
Clark
it.
and
He's gotta
fucking
do it.
Jones
He's
to
gotta
come
do
around
it.
the edge.
Fuck that he knows the guy. I don't care about that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Jones
Watch
is
the
the guy.
fucking game, dude. Fucking
watched the
A.
game,
I watched
moron.
the game. I watched the fucking announcers talk about him and how good he's
About
fucking
what?
playing.
They talked
Thank
about
you.
him on one play, dude. One
Fucking
play.
come
they
again.
mentioned his name on one play.
Keep
Probably
having
because
Chris
Jones had
Jones'
double
fucking
teamed
cock
every
in your
play.
fucking mouth, even though I saw that entire defense eat. So I don't.
Chris Jones had a 2-sack game.
Did you not smoke?
Okay.
Did you not smoke today?
So let's just take a breath here for a second,
What?
because on multiple occasions, Chris Jones
He did it. I'm not saying he had a bad
made
game. I'm
plays
just saying the
that
entire
changed
defense
the game.
played fucking
Their
good.
entire defense,
Last week he had Chris Jones's cock in his mouth the entire time.
I'm aware. And this week he's got Chris Jones' cock in his mouth, and you have Mike Danna.
No, I have the entire defense. I think
let's
their defense is
actually,
awesome.
Because I knew this is where this was going to go. Let's actually have a constructive conversation about this game. Because, one, do I think Kansas City's defense will be able to do what they did to Cincinnati against Philadelphia? The answer is no. Because Philadelphia, 3 of their offensive linemen were the equivalent of having Bruce out there to protect Joe Burrow.
And one is actually up for abuse charges right now.
So,
He's a backup.
Oh, he's a
so
backup?
they were playing with a backup offensive
That means
line.
it's garbage. No, it's a story from Philadelphia.
It happened in
Eagle
2019.
guy.
Okay.
Anyway,
It was awful. That was awful. They could not protect Joe Burrow. He was on his back the entire game. I mean,
and I will say this: outside,
he
if
was
it
sacked
wasn't
5
for
times.
Burrow,
It was just
Chase,
like Super Bowl last
and
year.
fucking T. Higgins, if it wasn't for them 3 guys,
Correct.
and
And I mean, they made plays.
they
when they
made
needed
plays when they had to, and they got. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. All the fucking calls were going against the Bengals,
to. Okay.
and that's all I'm going to say.
Hold on. I'm
What?
getting there. Hold on. Bengals receiving core, lights out. They, in my opinion, they proved everything they needed to prove that that's the top. Those 3 are the top receiving core in football. Hayden Hurst came up with big plays as well. And you know what? In my opinion, with Burrow under duress the entire game and having little to no time to throw, they executed as best as they possibly could. That's number 1.
That's because they're big dudes. They're big dudes.
They are exceptional. T. Higgins and
They're-
Jamar Chase
yeah.
is probably the
made
best.
They have 2 number 1
1-2
receivers.
duo
They
on
made
there.
him
in the
look
league.
a lot better in this.
Number 2, the fact that Eli Apple is not only on a roster, but a starting cornerback in this, Mardez Valdez-Scantling, who nobody wanted. They ran him out of Green Bay. He made him look
No,
like
they just didn't want to
Jerry
re-sign him because
Rice.
he was dog shit.
They made him look like Jerry Rice.
Listen to me.
Nobody outside.
I'm going to say this because as soon as some of these receivers, when Kadarius Toney went down,
Hurt.
when he went down,
Hardman
and
went
then,
out there
and then
for
you
2
had
fucking
Hardman
plays.
go out. They were fucking putrid after that. It was Travis Kelce and a couple other guys.
And Scantling. And Scantling burned Eli Apple for at least 20-yard receptions on 3 different occasions.
This was a close game. It could have went either way.
Now we can get into what you wanted to talk about, because I will die on this pedestal. I promise you I will. Everybody who said the NFL is fucking rigged, I never once gave it any thought. But god damn it, if that was the first NFL game you ever fucking watched and you had no backstory, you came out of it thinking it was a scripted fucking WWE.
No, that was last year in the Super Bowl.
I'm just surprised it took.
That was last year in the
Bengals
fucking Super Bowl in the fourth quarter
for you to
when the
realize.
game was on the line.
Him and I have been saying it all season long.
Okay? The phantom third down call where you had referees supposedly blowing a whistle that nobody could hear, but standing there with standing like toy fucking soldiers when you're supposed to wave your hands like they do every time they blow a whistle. No, we're gonna clean up mid-show now? Are we fucking
Go ahead,
serious?
I'm listening to you.
All right,
asshole.
Number 1. So we give them the extra third down play. Okay. Number 2. The late hit on Patrick Mahomes.
That was a late hit. It was a late hit. Out of bounds. At least fucking yard and a half out of bounds. I don't have any problem with that call.
I don't
have any problem with that call.
I don't have a problem with the call. But again, if that was anybody else, because we saw it on Joe Mixon not once, twice in this game.
Different story, because Joe Mixon is a fucking running back. Going for extra yards. He was hit out of bounds.
4 yards out of bounds.
I get it.
Joe Mixon was 4 yards out of bounds.
They didn't pull the flag. They didn't throw the flag on it.
They didn't throw the flag.
Joe Mixon's not a fucking quarterback.
I know.
Any quarterback that was in that play, there would have been a flag thrown. I don't give a fuck who it is. Even if Jared Goff was running down that sideline, he would have got the penalty.
The quarterback.
Okay.
If it was a quarterback, you're right.
That's great. Number 3.
It comes down to this.
The block.
They would have never made that fucking field goal. If he hadn't have fucking done it, you know what? I felt bad for that kid.
I did too.
Because all they did was throw the camera on him, and they wouldn't fucking stop.
And I hated it.
It's like, just get the camera off the guy.
hated that.
The guy wants to fucking kill himself as it is right now. He just cost his team the fucking game.
The officiating in this game was
very one-sided.
It was
all
very
I'm going to say is it's one-sided.
Very.
And I don't fucking like that. And you know what? I don't know what the NFL needs to do.
The hold. I mean, there was one play I saw, and this is why I get fired up about this, because there's a lot of games where there's 1 or 2 calls that are missed and everybody's up in arms. I never am one to come out and say, I don't blame games on the refs. I don't do that. All right? Because I understand what the NFL's trying to do with the way they call games and the passing.
They're trying to be perfect.
I try my best to understand the way that they're calling these games. This one was atrocious to a different level. There was one play where they could have called holding on the Chiefs on 3 separate guys, and it's circled. One guy around the neck, one guy, the jersey's 3 feet off his body, one guy was completely bear hugged. Missed. That was as close to blatant as I could ever.
Well, you know what? I don't think there was a game that's gone by this year that you've seen stuff like that.
Thing, though.
You see it on every fucking play, dude.
Every play this is happening. These guys are
listen, you see it all the time during the regular season. We've talked about this.
But this
about
is different
teams getting fucking games, losing games because of fucking bad referee calls or no calls. And that fucking happens all the time in the NFL.
Here's the thing, and this is the real ass kicker here. If it happens in the regular season, you throw a fit about it for an hour and you move the fuck on because you got next week.
Right.
When it
happens to the same team 2 years in a row,
2 years in a row,
2 years in a fucking row, no thank you. No thank you. It's bullshit.
Yep.
It's bullshit.
And again,
it's blatant.
I'll preface this by saying the Chiefs played a very good game. At the end of the day, he is right.
God, your heart's gonna explode.
They deserve to be there.
Your heart's gonna explode.
They deserve to be there. But the Bengals offensive line, and that is exactly what it came down to. Because we talked about it last week. If the Bengals could control the line of scrimmage, they'd win this game. And they couldn't because they had nobody to play offensive line, just like the Super Bowl last year.
But you know what? Last year, and I'm going to say this, the Cincinnati Bengals outplayed the fucking Rams, literally outplayed them, and it took fucking down to a minute left in the fucking game before the powers to be start throwing fucking flags on fucking shit that made no sense.
It was awful.
Yes, and it happened again to the same fucking team. And if I was Joe Burrow, I would have a huge fucking hard-on for the NFL. I mean, one big enough to choke Roger Goodell with.
I'm gonna say this, all right? And you can disagree with me all you fucking want, but I thought about this a lot, and nobody could change my mind on it right now. In my opinion, Joe Burrow, I get it. Patrick Mahomes dances and does the fucking tango and throws sidearm and he could tie his dick in a knot around his shoulder while he's throwing a football, and that's great. At the end of the day, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in this game right now, bar fucking none. Bar none.
We already know that. I don't think there's any question in that.
Okay?
I don't think there's any question to think that Joe Burrow's not the best quarterback in football. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is
I don't
cute.
think it's Pat Mahomes.
He's not the best quarterback in
Joe
football.
Burrow.
Who is it?
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
What's that?
I think it's Jalen Hurts.
You know what? I'm tell you this right now. As far as throwing the football goes, I don't think there's anybody better than Joe Burrow right now.
There's nobody better than Joe.
Period. What?
There's nobody in the league better than Joe
That's
Burrow.
my opinion. Is Jalen Hurts, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's good. But you know what? Jalen Hurts is a system guy.
Agreed.
The system he's in is tailor-made for him because they put Gardner Minshew in that same system,
And he
can't run the fucking football, so you're not getting the same production.
All right.
Are you confused? Are you confused by that?
So when he's in there playing better because the system's built for him, so he's
I said this. I said that the system that Jalen Hurts plays in is tailor-made for his skill set. Okay?
Correct.
There's other guys in there that don't have his skill set, and it's not the same fucking offense. But Jalen Hurts has that skill set to make that very productive.
Listen to me. This is the difference maker, and I agree with you that I think Jalen Hurts this year has solidified himself as a top 5 quarterback. He is very good.
Yes.
I agree with you that he's also a system
He's not
guy.
the best quarterback in the league, Joe Burrow.
You could take Joe Burrow and put him on 31 other football teams, and they would be a playoff contender off the bat. That's it. He's
I agree.
versatile.
I
Now,
agree.
Kansas
What, are you
City.
going to talk about Matt Stafford next? Jesus
No.
fucking Christ.
he looked very Matt Stafford like in that game he played.
Matt Stafford.
But
Joke.
other than that,
Let's talk about the Super Bowl. And obviously, we are going to break this down much more.
Oh, well, we're not done talking about Kansas City.
Oh, go ahead.
what?
What? Oh, you know what? There was some other news we missed.
What?
DeMar.
Oh, God.
DeMar has teamed up with the American Heart Association, and they're going to learn how to give people CPR and save people's lives.
Well,
God bless
Hey,
DeMar.
I think that's a pretty cool thing, actually.
it is a
God
cool
bless.
Yeah, that's-
You want to know what I
DeMar.
think we should
actually
do?
What?
pretty awesome.
I think we should send Bruce to CPR training so that way when
I
you
already have
finally-
my certification.
When I drop
do?
dead,
Yeah.
So when he keels
Actually-
over down here, you can pump him back
How
up?
long do they last? Is it like 2 years?
I have no idea.
It
Are you
be-
licensed?
It might be expired, but now.
yeah.
Well, you need to go get re
When I worked
when
at
you
the
give
gym,
me
I had to-
CPR,
when I worked at
I
the
want
gym,
you
I
to
had
put
to have
mouth
it.
to cock resuscitation on me.
All right.
Jeez.
What else do you have to say about Kansas City? Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say this. That last play was fucked up. It cost them the game. Kansas City won. They won. There's no disputing that. At this point, if you underestimate Kansas City, you'll be in trouble. You got to fucking play sound football with them. And you better be able to block Chris Jones.
So this
He's
Super
the
Bowl could
fucking key.
Listen,
He is the key to them winning.
That's all happy horsecock. But I got news
What?
for you. Philadelphia's come into this game as a 1.5 favorite, and I don't think I think this should be much more wide open than it is because
You think Philadelphia's going to dominate?
I think Philadelphia is going to dominate this game because I think
They played a better. I know this is going to sound stupid. Philadelphia beat up a physical team.
Fuck yes.
Philadelphia
A very physical
machine.
team.
Okay.
Is it a
And
machine?
not once, 2 weeks in a row.
The equation.
They beat up the Cowboys. They turn around and they beat up fucking the 49ers.
This is my reason for this now. I think the equation to beating Philadelphia is ground and pound. Okay, we've seen it. You got to run the piss out of the ball.
Got to do what the Redskins.
Boom.
I'm sorry.
You got to do what the Commanders did to them. I personally think Kansas City is completely unable to do that. All right? Isaac Pacheco, good running back. Guess what? They ain't going to stand up against that Philly run stop, and their offensive line is going – their Chiefs' offensive line played a good game against
a very good
the
team.
Bengals with a hobbled quarterback. That's fine. Philadelphia, whole different animal now.
But you see what the Chiefs were doing in that game? It was two steps, bam, ball was out.
Yeah.
They did not give Cincinnati any kind of time for them to get to him.
And they're going to have to do the exact
when he
same
wanted to
thing.
extend the plays, he was getting his ass kicked.
Correct. They're going to have to do the exact same thing. I, in my heart of hearts, do not believe you can beat the Philadelphia Eagles without running the ball. And I don't know if Kansas City can do that.
If you got, what's his name? Scantling and who else? Kadarius Toney. And what's the other receiver? Who's the other fucking guy? Who's the other asshole?
Hardman.
McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman's a return guy. When is everybody going to fucking understand that?
This is my next.
They're going up against a very good secondary.
Oh, wow.
That they will not be running wide open.
I know.
In.
You're trading Eli Apple in for Darius Slay. And I mean, just don't get me wrong. The only person on
Bradbury.
James
Bradbury is a very good corner.
Gardner Johnson. The only person on the Bengals secondary that is a true lights out perennial pro is Jesse Bates, in my opinion.
I mean, if you look at that Eagles defense, the only weak spot that I see, and I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat it, they don't have a fuck you linebacker
that can cover.
They don't have a fuck you linebacker. They got good cover linebackers, but they don't have that guy in the middle that can thump the run. They don't have it. They do it as a team effort. Rather than it being a fucking thumper.
Fucking machine up front.
You know something?
Their defensive line is
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think you and me have ever been on the same page in an episode more ever.
What do you mean?
You're right.
Because you have nobody else to choose.
Yeah, you have nobody else to talk about right now. You know what I mean? You're talking about the Eagles, and you know that I'm taking the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Fly, Eagles, fly.
And you know how much, you of all people know how much I despise this. There's two teams I hate more than anybody. Kansas City and Philadelphia. But the writing is on the wall for Philadelphia to win this game. It is. And my other point in all of this was the Kansas City defensive front did what they did.
They're better than I thought they were.
They're better than I thought they were. But again,
Frank Clark still doing it.
Again, missing 3 offensive linemen.
That's the key. You can look really good playing against second-tier guys. Second and third-tier guys, you can look like a fucking all-pro.
Okay, if we go through statistics here, Cincinnati has the 20th ranked offensive line.
Correct.
Philadelphia has number 1.
Yeah,
number 1.
They're ranked number 1.
So, I don't think we're going to see a 5-sack, just absolute shredding them constant every play. Kansas City controlled the line of scrimmage defensively on every single play against Cincinnati. Every play, Burrow was
they were running a very fast pace, quick hitting offense. It was a lot of short screens, it was a lot of short slants. There was nothing really downfield they were going for.
Correct.
They were going for that big play downfield. They didn't need to. They just wanted to control the clock, and that was smart. That's what you do against a really good defense.
Correct.
Look at Philadelphia. Look what they did to San Francisco. They made them look average out there.
Yep.
You're talking the number 1 defense in the NFL, and the 3 and 4 yard a pop thing for them, it was working, and they didn't veer from it.
Well,
that's why they fucking won. That's why they won as convincingly as they did.
Agree.
That and Brock Purdy is dog shit.
Well,
Hurt dog shit.
Here's the other thing, and we know how Kansas City wins games. Kansas City throws the piss out of the football. That's how they win games in miraculous fashions. Passing yards against per game.
This is how Kansas City beat the 49ers in the fucking Super Bowl.
Passing yards against per game. Philadelphia ranked first at 179. That goes to show you what kind of secondary they have. Sacks per game. Philadelphia is first at 69. Kansas City second at 55. But there's a big fucking margin there.
Yeah, 55 to 69.
Yeah. I mean,
Son Riddick had fucking 2 sacks, forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and don't tell me that guy didn't come to play. He came to fucking play.
Yeah.
And he said, they're on a mission, dude. They're on a mission to show everybody that they are no fluke.
So we're going to break this game down more, obviously, next week. Next week we're going to come in, recap the Pro Bowl, and then I want to get a deep dive into this game. So I don't want to go too far into it right now. But, and this could change before next week, I know I don't need to change mine. I'm picking Philadelphia to win this Super Bowl. It's just, for me, the writing is on the wall, and I get it. Patrick Mahomes, great year. Over 5,200 passing yards.
He's probably going to win MVP.
40 touchdowns. Will probably win MVP, but for me, I think Philadelphia's defense is just going to be the X factor here.
Does anybody know who's doing the Super Bowl game?
What do you mean?
Who the commentators are?
Oh.
Please tell me it's not fucking Joe Buck.
Well, while he looks that up.
Is it Joe Buck?
I surprisingly have been taking the Eagles. They've been my favorite. Kind of. Mixed with the Chargers.
Well, you said Chargers were going to win a Super Bowl.
That was the beginning of the season.
No, that was about fucking 3 weeks ago. You said
No, I said Miami.
Yeah, you
switched
did.
up and I said Miami.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I think the Eagles will win this game. But surprisingly, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I'm taking the underdog. The Chiefs are the underdog right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I think they're going to pull this off.
By 1 point.
Don't matter.
Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen. You know what? I like him.
I do too.
Have you heard him call games?
I have. Unfortunately, Brady's going to replace him. It looks
I'm sorry?
Unfortunately, Brady's going
to replace him?
It looks like now.
Fucking poor guy.
Yeah.
You know what? You never know. They just might add another guy.
You want to know what would be cool? Is if you had Brady and Greg Olsen in there as a
tag team.
Why not?
Dude, why not just
fucking
fucking
guys?
Gronk and Brady? That'd be awesome.
Because Gronk's too fucking.
Gronk is awful.
Gronk's awful.
That'd be awesome to
He's
listen
awful, dude. He's on the fucking thing, the little panel with Michael Strahan, Howie Long, and Howie Long just wants to blow his fucking brains out every time Gronk opens his mouth. That's how fucking bad it is.
All right.
He's awful, dude.
Jimmy Johnson's
nothing
a
that
big
guy
fan.
can do. You know what he needs to do, dude? Join wrestling.
Jimmy Johnson's
because I
a
don't
big
think there's
fan.
anything else. He can't talk. He can't act. He's fucking horrible, dude.
You know what I realized? He's not wearing his headset.
So what?
You didn't wear your headset today.
No, he did, but
I had to take it off.
when he went up 200
I had
milligrams
to take it
of
off.
caffeine,
I couldn't stand listening to Bruce's
All right.
fucking nonsense.
You want to make your pick?
What are you talking about?
He took
We're
this
making
pick
a
like
pick.
three
Fly,
times
fly.
already.
Fly Eagles fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly, dude. I called it from fucking early on in the year.
I said they probably would. Said they would make the Super Bowl, but I said they probably wouldn't win.
Well, here we are.
But that could change.
We had 2 guys that were
Like
right.
yours. Because I'm on the fence
You
about
said that the fucking
I'm
Jacksonville
on the
Jaguars were a playoff team. They made it to the fucking playoffs. Absolutely. I said the Eagles were the best team in football and would win the Super Bowl. And here we are.
Hey, at least I said the Chargers made it halfway. Kind of. More than halfway.
Yeah. You want to know what the Chargers' problem was?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
you go.
Let me. I'm not gonna.
They faced a young, hungry team.
Yep.
Actually, fuck it. I don't care if I jinx it. But I've called every game in the playoffs so far except for the Chargers and Jacksonville.
Okay.
No, you didn't. You picked Cincinnati this week.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
No.
you did.
No, I didn't.
No, because me and him took the same thing.
Why the fuck
No.
would I take Cincinnati?
You took Cincinnati this week.
No, I didn't.
No, that was you.
That was you.
I
were
know.
the
I
only
took
one who
Cincinnati,
took Cincinnati.
and San Francisco.
Correct.
But I
Because
could.
I said,
I
it's a
took-
replay of 1982.
I took Philadelphia and I took
No,
Kansas City.
I think he took Kansas City, too.
Are you sure about?
I took Kansas
I think
City
so.
at home. You were the whole.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Oh
this.
no! Hey! You took Tampa. You took Tampa against Dallas.
Did I?
I think we all took Tampa
We all took
against
Tampa
Dallas.
against Dallas.
We all took Tampa
Damn
against
it.
Dallas.
I forgot
the
about
fuck?
that game. God
So
damn it.
that is it. Listen, this is a holdover episode to get you through to next week. Next week, we are gonna we're gonna watch the Pro Bowl and see what comes of it. We'll see if they were able to make the Pro Bowl great again. And then it is officially Super Bowl week.
There's nothing else to watch. There's nothing else to watch.
You know how bored
what are you
I
gonna
was
watch?
Monday night?
What are you gonna watch?
Fuck.
What? The fucking NBA? Hockey? Nobody gives a fuck about that shit.
Hey, baseball
Hockey's
season's
pretty
coming.
fun.
You know what? USFL's coming, baby.
Oh God, here we go.
God bless.
Now that they're actually
God
playing
bless
at
the
Ford
Michigan
Field, I
Panthers.
really want to go.
I'm sure you're season.
I
ticket holder,
wanna
you could
go.
probably get
I'm
tickets.
going.
I want to go.
I want to go to a
I wanna
Michigan
get a
Panther
jersey.
game.
You guys,
I think we should all go.
You want to know what you guys should do? You guys should do a USFL show.
I don't care about the U.S.
No, I don't want to do that.
Why?
At this point, I'm
Even
not ready
Botcher
for that.
can do it.
You're not ready for it?
I'm not ready for it. I actually want the Michigan Panthers to be competitive before I want to do something like that.
Okay.
You need a jersey though. That's what you need.
I don't want a jersey.
Oh, quick.
I have a hat.
Quick little tidbit here. Washington Commanders are interviewing Anthony Lynn for offensive coordinator.
Really?
Some people never learn.
Did they see what happened over here? This recyclement of fucking garbage just
No.
absolutely blows my fucking mind, dude.
Here we go. We are.
No? Don't that recycling of garbage just blow your mind?
Yeah, it does.
And not to say Anthony Lynn is garbage. I take that back because he's not. He was actually pretty productive in San Diego.
Okay. We've got
Yeah.
a lot of names for this Super Bowl coming up. The Kelsey Bowl, obviously, first time
What?
two brothers have ever squared off in a Super Bowl. The Kelsey Bowl.
Really?
Yep.
Two brothers.
Two brothers.
Why doesn't that sound right?
It's probably two
didn't sound right to
actual.
me.
There's
I've
prob-
seen
there's-
two brothers play on the same team.
In a Super
Jack
Bowl.
and Jim
Probably half
Youngblood
brothers.
both played in the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
McCourties. I mean, yes, but against each other.
1985?
So,
Or no, 1980 or 81.
don't rack it too hard here. Okay. So that'll be
1985 is the
interesting.
Chicago Bears.
That'll be interesting. And then Andy Reid going to play his old stomping grounds, play the Philadelphia Eagles. So
That's pretty ironic, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
Funny how things come
God
out.
bless Andy Reid.
Big fat bastard.
Andy Reid.
Anyways, I'd like to thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Make sure to follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. If you are listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure to go check us out on YouTube so you can see Uncle Sam's beard. And remember to ring the bell and subscribe. We will be back next week. We've got Pro Bowl recap. We've got Super Bowl preview. We've got a lot to talk about. Take us in while you can, because after the Super Bowl, we might need to take a little break. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your week.